Hi everyone, I'm Edith and I'm a professional pianist, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Fazioli F308. This instrument is actually the longest concert grand in the world at 3 meters and 8 centimeters. Hence why it's called the Fazioli 308. But the reason why I chose to do this one is just because I think it's a very, very powerful instrument. It is about 30 centimeters longer than its usual like concert grand, where it's usually like 278 or like about 280 in length, but this one is a little bit longer, and it gives me like more power when I'm actually playing. And then so it has a longer resonance as well. Not to mention that it's also a beautiful instrument just to look at. I think it's always amazing how beautiful an instrument can be. So like for example, when you play like loud stuff, I think it really gives you that power, that oomph that you get from the bass. Even though like technically, I mean yes, you get nice stuff from other pianos as well. But this one is surprisingly, I think the bass is not overbearing. It has power, but it doesn't overwhelm the top stuff. So for example, like this is like the loud part of the Schumann Liszt transcription of Widmung. What is it? Oh. Like it has a lot of that power you get from the bass, but somehow it still keeps its texture. Like I know a couple of other concert grands that bass is very, very powerful, and then sometimes it can kind of like overwhelms the other ranges as well. And this one has like crazy clarity. And then also what I like to mention about the Fazioli is the fact that it's just more even throughout. Like the sound, the color is very even throughout, and even going down. So it's just like, it's never actually like changing its color. You know like how sometimes you get the piano that's like this top range is one color, and then this middle range is one color, and then like the one in the bottom is another color. Like you would never actually have that with a Fazioli. Well, at least this Fazioli, but I'm assuming that all Fazioli is pretty much the same, just because like Paolo Fazioli, the founder of Fazioli pianos, I know that he basically like quality controls each and every single one of his pianos before it leaves his warehouse. So, and he himself is a pianist, if I'm not mistaken. And then so it's always really nice to have like a pianist who's basically crafting his own instrument, because he knows exactly what we as pianists would want. What is also interesting about this Fazioli 308 is the fact that it has 4 pedals. And in the beginning, I didn't know what's the purpose of this pedal in the beginning. But then after careful like looking at the piano and all of this type of stuff, I realized, so you have like the regular sustaining pedal on the right side, and then you have like your regular like sostenuto in the middle, which is like the one that you hold. So it's just holding that particular note. So everything else is regular, but then you have that note that is held. Like that's a common element in every single pianos that one I know. And then you have the regular una corda where it's shifted the keys a little bit, so then it only hits like part of the strings instead of like its full sound. So then in regular with una corda, so it has slightly of a less pronounced sound, but at the same time, it's just like with this extra pedal, and I'm sure that you can see later on, but it's just the idea that the hammer is actually being pushed up. So then the thing is just like, what happens with this is like the way that it changes, it's not changing anything in terms of the keyboard, it's not changing anything in terms of the strings, but it's actually changing the hammer. So the hammer would actually like go up. So then you would have a particularly smaller distance between the hammer and the string. And then so what happens with that is it's like it creates a softer sound. So it's like an additional feature of an una corda, I guess. At least that's the way that I see it. But it gives you that amazing ability of just basically having a new sound color. So for example, For example, a Debussy. So like Fazioli is not only good for like powerful stuff, but it's also good for like very delicate, it's very sensitive towards touch. So this is The Girl with the Flaxen Hair, a Debussy prelude. So in the beginning, I'm just using an una corda. I love this piano. It listens to everything. It's just like, even when you want to play like really, really soft, like it's very sensitive towards like differences of touch. But why I want to mention this piece is because at the end, I always feel like it's not magical enough whenever I play it on other pianos. And then so when it happens, when the theme comes back at the end, like when you have, oh, this is by the way with the fourth pedal. You really get that idea of intimate sound, I think, by this pedal. And of course, I mean, I'm not saying that you cannot achieve it unless you play on a Fazioli. Of course, you can achieve it with other pianos as well, but this one is just particularly wonderful because of that additional element that you get. The amazing feature of Fazioli is also the fact that they take their craftsmanship very seriously. So for example, for the places that people can't see, like under the piano, like they would still focus on the craftsmanship of it too. So they would still purposefully like get the details and everything done to the highest quality that they can, even if it's something that we can't really see. Okay, another feature of the Fazioli that I really, really love is the fact that, well, in general, I think you can see how the piano gives you the ability to actually be the best version of yourself. So it's just like, we always practice and then we always try to do our best in a piano, like with a piano during practice or during rehearsal or during performances. But of course, the quality of the piano itself matters, like at the end of the day. And then the reason why I love the Fazioli is because of that, like just, I think it understands what we want. So like, for example, in terms of just colors, it's like, it has like a beautiful, like regular, like the sound in and of itself, the basic of the sound is really, really nice. But then it's also very sensitive, like in terms of, it has that softer quality as well. So it kind of reacts to what we put into it as well, which is something that I really, really like. But also, I think this is also one of the nicest features about the Fazioli is the fact that it's light and it's clean. Like the sound itself is very crisp. Like if I have to characterize it, I think it sounds like crystals. It has that quick release, or the damper is very, very good. And then so the thing is like you would never have like an overhang or something that's like bleeds over to the other chords or like the other notes. It's always just very, 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 very clean, which is why it's always very nice like when you play something classical on this piano, because I mean, yes, of course, we already talk about Debussy and we already talk about like Liszt. But then at the same time, it's just like, even when you play something that's classical, like Haydn, for example, it's just like you get that lightness, you get that fluffiness that comes with classical era without too much of a, I hate to say that it's not too much of a work, but just because of its quality itself, like the sound quality of the piano, it actually gives you that ability to achieve your desired sound. At least for me, it's easier to do that. So for example, this is like a Haydn sonata. it's just very clean. Like the sound itself is very clean, and then there's no overhang, there's no anything. There is a very, very small chance that you would ever like probably over pedal on a Fazioli, because it's very nice. It's just like the sound itself is very clean. It gives you that super nice support, I think, to basically get any ideas that you want to have. So for example, like in Liszt, like voicing stuff is very easy, like trying to differentiate between like your top line, like you want a little bit more singing, and the inside. It's very nice, and it's very easy to play on, which is, if you haven't played on a Fazioli, I strongly encourage you to do so. It doesn't have to be this one, it doesn't have to be the 308. Of course, it's always nice to have a larger instrument, but it doesn't even have to be this particular concert grand. He also, Fazioli also has like, I think it's the 278, if I'm not mistaken, like the quote-unquote the regular concert grand, the one that's not like 3 meters long. But even with the smaller Fazioli, you would have the same luxury, like with the actions, with the sound, with the evenness of everything. What is really, really amazing about Fazioli is the fact that it's very quick, like the decay is very quick. It's very clean. This is why I said it's just like playing on a Fazioli is very, very nice. You can harness that power, that the length, that the resonance can give you, but at the same time, it gives you the clarity that sometimes I feel like I don't really quite get with other instruments. Fazioli is also fully customizable, apparently. This is obviously just the regular one. This is a black high gloss finish with the briar wood insides. It's very, very beautiful. But at the same time, there is a possibility for Fazioli to be customized. So you can have any piano that you want with any design that you want in any color that you want, which is something that's like, it just gives you something a little bit extra. So yeah, so that's the Fazioli 308, and I hope that you would try it sometimes. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also check out our website, thegrandsignaturepiano.com. I look forward to see you in our next video.